Here in Indianapolis, we were anticipating the matchup of the year so far in college basketball. Number 1 Gonzaga against number 2 Baylor. Earlier today, Baylor was out here doing their shoot-around, getting prepared to match up against the Bulldogs. But as we found out, as everybody's been talking about the last couple of hours, the basketballs have been put away, and all of the equipment has been put on the buses for both of these teams. Hi, everybody. Tom McCarthy, along with Bill Raftery. The championship trophy is here. We still think this is a foreshadowing, these two teams, of maybe a matchup later on this year.
We were saying for both teams, obviously for ourselves, and a chance to really clear up who is number 1 in the country.
Yeah, so both coaches join us now. They've been nice enough to join us now. Scott Drew, the head coach of Baylor, and Mark Few, the head coach of Gonzaga. Guys, I know it's difficult. Scott, we'll start with you. What did you tell your guys earlier today?
Well, we met right outside the elevators, and they knew once I called that meeting it wasn't good news. So they were obviously devastated, but I can't thank Gonzaga staff and our staff. Worked extremely hard with the state of Indiana and tried to do everything we could to make it a go, but at the same time provide safety for the student athletes.
You know, Mark, I know both coaches would love to play this game. Do you think we'll see it later on in the season?
I absolutely do think we will. I think, this is a season where we just have to have open minds and be flexible and be agile and at the same time, just like Scott said, I mean, we're always going to put the health and safety of the student athletes first, but we're also going to try our best to give all our players the opportunities that they're so longing for. So Scott and I worked hard on this game this summer, a lot of calls and texts, and we'll find a way to play it at some point.
Scott, one of the things we talked about with you earlier this week is you went through this. You had COVID-19. Yeah. You've been reffing Nerf basketball games for the last couple of weeks. And I think Mark brought up a great point.
And he's not a very good ref.
Yeah. Trust me, I heard enough from my kids. They agreed. I'm not a good ref.
We heard from Mark, though, saying that you got to stay loose in these situations. And I guess that's the message to the kids, too.
Well, our players are really resilient. And as Coach Few said, I mean, our guys came back to college for these reasons, to play games like this. And they trust us that we'll find ways to get them quality games that excite them like this and excite the nation. I mean, they work so hard at their craft to be able to showcase their talents and abilities. And I can't, again, thank both our staffs for working so well, and doctors and everybody. But Coach Few and I have the same philosophy. It's great for college basketball when great programs play each other, and we're going to find a way to make that happen.
You know, Mark, you've been on the road for 14 days. You look a lot older, by the way. I might add that.
Feel a lot older.
Hey, I don't know if his clothes are clean anymore, by the way. I smell them walking this other end.
They're not.
Mark, what was the reaction of your players? I mean, obviously this game, such a big game in the course of the season. What was their reaction?
I mean, very, very, very disappointed. But also, I think, there's a resiliency that I think all us coaches realize that our players have. I mean, when you watch just how they deal with all the protocols put on them and what their, lives are like, they're totally isolated. When we're on the road, everybody's got their own room, which is so different, and how we travel, and even back home, they're all isolated. So there's a resiliency about them, and a stick-to-itiveness that they realize that, and I think they really trust Scott and myself that we'll get this game going and we'll play again. It's just going to be in a different time, which again, we all feel horribly about. I feel horrible for CBS, and I feel horrible for all the fans that were tuning in, but we'll make it happen.
All right, Mark, Scott, we appreciate it. We were looking forward to it, and hopefully our fingers are crossed that we'll get a chance to see this matchup maybe once, maybe twice sometime this year.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, Mark Few, Scott Drew, our guests here in Indianapolis. For Bill Raftery, our entire amazing crew, let's head